we'll start with Liam. Just what did you see out of him? How much did you kind of need to see something like that?
Yeah, well, we see flashes of it, and it may be a hitter here and there. He strung it together today. The command of the fastball was above average. I'm not going to say it was great, but it was above average for how he's thrown. But the slider, the shape and the consistency of the slider, it had good shape, it had good velocity, and he could repeat it. Like, I haven't seen him do that until today. And he and Chuck looked at some video of some things that we were trying to fine-tune with the actual slider itself. And we talked about maybe almost trying to throw more of a hard cutter, kind of like Colip threw. And I think his working through that the last couple of days might have given him a more consistent pitch to throw. I want to go look at how they look on video and with the metrics of it, but it sure did look good. And if he can continue to evolve, I mean, that's a power elite arm that's capable of doing that way more often than we've seen him do it. So that's really good.
Looking ahead to this weekend, I think Wake has 3 guys with double-digit home runs already, just really mashing the ball a lot. How different are they from last year? What have you seen from those guys on film already?
I haven't gotten too far into it yet. The numbers sometimes with different teams in their home park. Wake plays in one of the smallest parks in the country, so I hope that this may neutralize some of their juice. But they've played really well. Like all year, they've played well. So we'll have our hands full. I have not got. I was trying to get through all the stuff we're dealing with our guys and just get through these games, and then tomorrow we'll really bear down. But they are potent, and they've got some left-handed bats, and they got good balance. That I can tell you. And they can hit, and they always seem to have arms and arm depth. So, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight. It'll be a super regional, like these weekends we're learning they are. It's a super regional caliber opponent every time.
So kind of going off of their balance, you saw your offense come out here very balanced today. Also, your bullpen performed very well, which I kind of feel like those are 2 themes that you've been working with this year. So what does that mean to kind of maybe get back on track as you head into the weekend?
The offense, it's just inconsistent right now. And I know the numbers, it looks good. It looks good on the scoreboard. It just, you would hope that you would separate in that game when you had some chances early and in the middle part of the game to open it up, to take some of the wear and tear off of some of the guys that are playing inning after inning. But there were some good at-bats. Ziska had another good game. Dave Lamanna, hammered a ball in the left field corner and the right field corner and through the middle. So that's a really good sign when you're hitting balls like that to all different parts of the field. Cole, base hit, bunt, home run. Jouer off the bench, good. DeMarco, a base hit. Preisner, found some real estate. He needed that. Like, he's been fighting a little bit. Old Miller got a hit, but overall, just the consistency of the quality of the at-bat isn't right now what it was maybe a month ago, and we're trying to work on it and get it there. I wish we could have another left-handed presence in the lineup so we don't have so many righties. I think it gets a little easier for them to pitch to a string of the same thing. But today was a good game, and we had good at-bats, and it was a good win.
I think today is these last 2 games, I believe, are the first time since you've been here you've gotten to play consecutive midweek games.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, the first year we didn't play one, and last year they were so sporadic. And I'm trying to find the right way to do something like this. And there's 3 things that have to line up. You really would like to do it after the Easter weekend when you don't play Sunday, and you have to be at home. Like, we couldn't travel tomorrow and do this. It's just too much on the guys. And then you have to find opponents that it fits. So it's not easy. The midweek misses early because of our geography. Like, you start to whittle it away at the ability of the guys to play 56 games. And that's what our schedule is built to be in college baseball. Now, I'm not saying we have to do it, but to give them the chance to go play and statistically compete with everybody else, because at the end of the year, you look at numbers like home runs and RBIs and strikeouts and things for the pitching staff that are raw numbers. So you want to give them the best chance to have an opportunity to get the accolades and the numbers that they deserve if they're playing well. So I'm trying to figure this out here with the scheduling, but this was clearly the week to try to do it. Now it's still a stretch because you start looking at the number of pitches the guys threw, and Chuck and I spent an hour trying to decide what we wanted to do and who we were comfortable letting go a little bit, like into these games. And that's why I told you I wish we could have separated a little earlier to maybe get some guys a little less work. But it is what it is. But yeah, this was good to play these games. We need to play.
You've talked about all the different pieces that you have or are working to figure out in the bullpen. So having these games back to back like this, what's the benefit of that, especially as you kind of go into the stretch of the season?
Yeah, I would say Roman and Raddick giving you back-to-back good outings. And even within those outings, a little more repeatability. You saw a snapshot today, like Raddick looked like this was going to be really good. Then all of a sudden, like it's erratic, if you will. So as those freshmen, like doing it once a week like they're all used to, they're outside of their comfort zone as much as anybody because all they've ever done is gone out there and start games. Well, they're not doing that here right now. They have started again, but they're not truly like Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting extended pitchers. So learning how to pitch and throw 35 pitches and throw 25 pitches in, a couple day span is tricky. And no freshman really is a relief pitcher. Finley's done a nice job of kind of being a little bit more consistent, but these games give those guys more of a feel of what it's like to come in and throw in little spurts, and they have to be better than they have been in consistency's sake,
With McLinksey's MRI,
we don't have an answer yet.
Okay.
He's not going to pitch this weekend, regardless of what he's the forearm strain stuff. It takes a little time, so we'll figure that out. I don't know yet. I hope he's okay.
Given that situation, is Lazzaro somebody that you want to see more innings from?
Absolutely, and he's battled injuries, and he's got to be a little sharper than he was. But yes, I mean, all of these guys, I would like to hand the ball and get more innings out of. You're trying to look at matchups like Lazzaro, you would hope can give you some depth against some of the lefties. Looking at Wake, I mean, that was one of the things today. We know they have some good left-handed bats. So to get Finley and Lazzaro and Terrell, and we'll get Mercer back in there, that's good. But he's got to be cleaner than he was today. Laz does.
You guys walked 8 times today. Was patience in at bat something that you were looking at heading into the...
Yeah, like we knew the guy starting is 6'6" or 6'7", and he's throwing 82, 83 miles an hour. So it was just unusual stuff. And statistically, you knew that they have guys that are maybe not in the zone as much as they would probably like them to be, but they probably can't just throw fastballs in the middle of the plate and think they're going to get. So they have to nibble a little bit more, like the guy that started the game, and they're not going to really give in. So if you start chasing and going after pitches that clearly aren't in the zone, it's inviting because the stuff and the velocity wasn't like over the top velocity and stuff. So sometimes you feel like every pitch that's thrown, when it's that velocity, you can hit anything. Well, you might be able to hit it, but it doesn't mean you're going to be able to really do anything with it. So the patience was good and allowed us to kind of generate early in the game without really driving balls all over the place like we did later. So that was really good to see, yeah.
This rotation this weekend?
Well, Bertrand, Temple, and then we're kind of going towards Mercer, and I think we finally figured out what was bugging him, and I hope what they did early this week to help him, I hope it'll help. Now, we just need him to do...
Sorry, what was that with Mercer?
He just had something funky musculature going on up in his neck, so they kind of think they got to the bottom of it, and if you get to the bottom of it and they're doing the right treatments, I think that'll help him. I'm not asking the guy to go throw 7 or 8 innings. You saw how we used him last year, but it's effective. Even if it's 3 innings or 4 innings, as a good lefty, that'll get us into the game and down the road a little bit on Sunday if he can do it. But I haven't announced that yet. We'll get to that tomorrow, and I want to make sure he's okay tomorrow in his side session, and we'll go from there. Bertrand and Temple will be good.
Okay.
Yeah.